Remember, we are the battery and trauma is our transaction. And I was just sitting here doing some breath work before I got this video started. And I was just deep in thought, thinking to myself, blood really runs this dimension. And I say that because I was just sitting here thinking, like, how do these beings get the energy? How do these beings get the opportunity, the connection to even get our divinity to where they feed on it by needing blood, by even harvesting this energy, by feeding on consciousness. And I realized that this is basically us being uploaded to a cloud and these beings, so it's like how you put your phone on the charger. Our thoughts, our trauma, all these things that hurt us, that emotion, that feeling, that thought gets uploaded to a cloud. And that's how they energize themselves by accepting what you created. Remember, I keep telling people these demons, demons in general, doesn't matter how they look, they can't create anything. They can only mimic, they can only imitate our creation. So I was looking up this, so I bookmarked it, just talking about satanic cults and blood rituals and all that. Before 2025 became a timeline, became a year, even before BC and 80, just before timelines, blood was the most important thing that can open up portals to other dimensions. That's why even the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, Tibet, Mesoamerica, it doesn't matter, South America, North America, all over the globe. People may not tell you through their history because they don't want to make their lineage or make their origin seem satanic or evil, but we all have a hand in blood rituals, blood sacrifice. And I say that because we have to pay for the crimes that we cause upon our families, upon humanity, because before people had this knowing or this thought of God, they thought as if they needed to sacrifice their mother, their children, their father, their cousin, their girlfriend, boyfriend, or a homeless man, a goat to a God. And they thought as if this God was going to give them, like the sun, for example, they thought as if the sun God, Lucifer, was going to deliver them what they wanted, the material, because back then they didn't have this understanding of consciousness. They didn't really understand what was going on in the world. They just knew that they were here to do something and they wanted to know what that was. So once they were able to get into those rooms or meetings about information and knowledge and spiritual information, they've been getting downloads by sitting with their truth. A lot of them thought as if I go this way, will my truth be enhanced if I sacrifice somebody to get more understanding? And then a lot of people go to those crossroads. Those crossroads indicate what being showed, those men in black. People don't understand too, the men in black, that was more than just a movie about the CIA and all that. These secret societies are so, and there are no governments, just societies and secrets. That's really all it is anyway. The rich are in secrecy and they're just controlling the world that we find temporary emotions in. These beings knew that they did not want to be seen for how horrendous and how heinous their crimes upon humanity are and have became. So where they can't even show themselves to our face because they would be humiliated on the spot and we would kill them. They know that. So they have to hide like cowards, obviously. So how can we let a bunch of cowards govern our system? We know that our system is trafficking children. And the thing is two different sides on that. Spiritually, nobody can get trafficked because all you're doing is just moving energy. You're trafficking energy. But physically, beings have to get trafficked. Men and women, all ages, doesn't matter, especially the ones who have an understanding about the simulation, the ones who are out of this world, who are able to know what world they come from, what star system, and what they're doing here. They need that divinity because with geniuses, with people who go through so much trauma, especially satanic ritual abuse, a lot of us we were conditioned to have to really be on stilts. We had to always be up on game. We had to always do certain things and go through things that were harmful, they were painful, so where you do question if your life was worth it, but you didn't know how to end it. You just kept on going through it because that's what you thought was normal. So a lot of these children, even these children in this video, and it's more than just their skin color, it's all of them. There are a lot of people behind closed doors, even these celebrities. A lot of people don't know these are basically open Satanists. who tell you what to do to get to where they are. But if you're not wanting to do it, then it's just words, it's just spells, it's just jokes. But they're telling you what you can do to get to where they are. And once you do that, you won't have a piece of yourself anymore. You'll be just a fractal of what they want to traumatize you into being abused in because you're doing things for the love of money. You're doing things for validation. You're doing things to get opportunities and sponsorships and business deals. You want to become this character or this figure that people can look up to. You want the fame, you want the materials, you want the notoriety. Cool. Once you go through these initiations, once you go through these spells, do you understand what you just did for yourself? You basically signed yourself away for obtaining things that were never here. So you were willing to now get rid of different beings, different humans, just to cater to a bunch of families that never give a fuck about you. But they gave birth to you, then you're useful for their pleasures. Because do what thou will. They think as if that's how they get closer to their version of God. And let me see here. There's another interview too. Not this one. There's another one though. Even with this one though, I know that because I know it's down here. It's not this one. It was right there. We're gonna watch that too. But I'm looking at this, and even with CIA human hunting parties, war. So understand. This is our future. People don't know that we're all in that because we work for them. People choose to think as if, oh, I'm not working for them. I'm not in that bloodline, this and that. You have ancestors who formed this mind right here, controlling intellectual anomalies or alienated minds. But from what? The shadows. So there are shadow societies that we will never get to see ever because they are, for one, horrific to look at. They are horrendous. They are hideous. Not only just that, they're despicable. You want to spit on them. You even want to kill them yourself because of what they have done to our families because they are viruses. They are parasites. But so it's organized too, organized pedophilia. So it's satanic elite bloodline families. And thing is too, even with ancient Egypt, ancient, in the Middle Eastern, Africa, North America, doesn't matter where in the globe, even in China. A lot of families knew to get closer to the governor, the president, the dictator, the king, the queen, the pharaohs, magicians, the slave master, to get something in return, they had to give up something. And what does that resort to at that point? If they tell you you had to give up something to get something by getting rid of something, what would you give up at that point? That's why a lot of times people don't understand that pedophilia, blackmail method. So, for example, when they invite you to these human hunting parties, the war is upon your bloodline. To think as if what you're doing behind closed doors is justified, that's exactly why you celebrate in Hollywood or even other places as well. Now, MK Ultra Monarch programming is all connected to the exact same family because remember, the war is upon your spirit. So even the beings who are in these two right here, because we're all in these, but the only difference is many of us don't act upon this act right here. We chose to come into this. Now we can choose to act on doing this. But people who become celebrities, they get put through that because remember, they are basically just infiltrated agents that have blinding the masses into what they want you to believe. So I don't know what this is, a pedophile snuff, but generational sex abuse, because remember, if you're sexually abusing your mother, your father, your kids and all that, you're under MK Ultra, you're under monarch programming because there have been shadow societies that have been watching us that have placed this program into the mind to where now the mind thinks as if when that happens to them, it's normal, it's justified. So that's when they put their children and their families into the same exact ritual abuse. My fault, y'all. So I like these flies flying all over my stuff. And then when these families put their children through that, now you got adrenochrome and then walnut sauce, whatever that is. But satanic rituals, human sacrifice, pedophilia, and then organ harvesting and cannibalism, red market. So it's just the lowest form of what's been going on. But when you no longer need use of the child or the person that you're trafficking, I mean, or even the person that you're sacrificing or having fun with, now you might as well just make some money off of it because they see us as cattle. They see us as pigs, goats, sheep, lamb, horse, cow. They see us as food for thought, literally. We feed their thoughts. So as the goyim and all that, by them telling us that, if you see, I think Travis Scott posted something about, hopefully I had this bookmark. I think Travis Scott posted something. Bingo, found it. Utopia, see you at midnight. Ah, Christina, Nigel, and Peter Hugo. Are those the kids you sacrificed? Dog, trying to traumatize us with these pics. So, but look at them. And then you obviously got, I don't know when this was though, 6 days ago. So I don't know, this is the accurate depiction of the days that this was posted, but look at the children though. No clothes on. Looking how they're looking. No smiles. This kid right here, out of all the symbols, you got marker, whatever, drawn on this kid right here, and then you have it circled for this eye. Look at his face. I mean, all you can see is just the truth behind their eyes. So when you understand that, and people praise Travis Scott just for the art and the craft, but it's, I mean, and the one-eye symbolism is a dead giveaway, and they will never try to hide it. What are they doing this for? Like, they don't just tell you what they do just for the fuck of it. No, they're doing this stuff because this is really what they do in order to get to where they need to go as far as fame and status. That's why a lot of these people are put into the limelight. They're put into your face because they are control opposition. Exactly why if you are supporting these people. And the thing is too, it's a difference between reposting the music because you relate to the message or the beat. And it's one thing to support the character that does the craft of the song. That's one thing I realized. So a lot, and there are songs where I don't like the person, but I like the song, I like the message, I like the instrumental. But I realize that these beings are still trafficking children. So I still gotta expose them. I don't care how great you are at something, you're still gonna get exposed. So missing children, child sex trafficking, and I feel like these missing children end up just being these homeless people, or they end up being celebrities that get trafficked. They get abused sexually, and if they want to become famous, they get blackmailed. And so this whole shit right here, like we're just a part of really these two and this as well. But there are some people who have been through this, they've been through that. Because I would say I've been through one of these rituals as far as like this ritual abuse right here. But seeing other things as well, I mean, this stuff get crazy. But let's go and get into the video. Hold on. Someone should hear it. This shit crazy.
Done it before. First time when we went to done it, you had did so much. When you did what? When you killed the babies, first time I You killed the babies? Yes. You yourself? With Papa. Papa holding my hand. He helped me. And he told me to cut the baby's head off. He forced me to. I couldn't. He held your hand? He held my hand. Yes. Like what? Show me. So this is my hand on the knife. He put his big hand on, and he pushed my hand and then cut off the head. Like that. And then when we got older, we got more used to it. But then we understood that then my mom, when my mom.
Yeah, when we got older, we got used to it. That's why if you hear how they're talking and all that, it sounds as if they don't care. I mean, it's not that they don't care. They don't know how to care. I mean, when your mother is telling you to do something out of fear and you do it, at first it's going to be the most uncomfortable thing that you ever witnessed. But as you keep doing it, you become numb to the pain. You become numb to the cries. You become numb to the blood. You become numb to the organs and the body parts falling off. You just become numb to it because you've been doing that since your youth, your childhood. So you're bound to know more in life just because you've been through that ritual already. So they went to school and people wonder why they talk a certain way, they think a certain way, they think heightened, but it's still weird. It's odd. Yeah, they've been put through some shit that people will never understand. People don't really realize how deep this shit goes. And once I understood it firsthand, I was able to witness what children sacrifice or children sacrifices in satanic cults are.
Found out about it, she understood. She told me that it's wrong to do this stuff, kind of stuff. But then me and Gabriel had still been used to it. But then we had understood that it's wrong. And so, what's your decision is? Our decision, we had still a lot of fear in our head, but then when we read the book for June, it said that fear is the mind killer. So when we heard that, we thought that it was true. It was not really true. But then after, there was a man called Abraham who came to help us. He said that it is true, that fear is the mind killer. And then after, he said we had to face our fear. And then after we faced our fear, camera is here. And then after camera is here. And then after we faced our fear. So what's you decided? And we decided that we should stop. But then it's come Gabriel, come closer, Dolly's.
And the thing is, too, somebody's gonna say, I don't believe that, this child was doing that. That's not like a child to do, my bad. And yeah, that's not normal. I don't believe kids would be doing that. I mean, this stuff has been going on just before it was going on. This has been happening. You're just now getting accustomed to what they've been telling you. And a lot of these celebrities, a lot of your family members, they may do it because they want to get somewhere in life. And to get somewhere in life, you've got to, what they call it, sacrifice something. So that's why I use the term get rid of, because sacrifice to me just holds so much negativity around it. But they have lowered its morals, depreciated its commercial integrity, segregated themselves, sneered at and undermined Christianity, built up a state within a state, and when opposed, try to strangle that country financially. If you don't exclude the pale costumes from this nation, in 200 years, your children will curse you. Benjamin Franklin, who was also a invert. So she was telling you about what her bloodline was going to do. And was she wrong? Because anybody that they talk about who is known historically or even just on just fame and all that, all women, they're all inverted beings. All went through that humiliation ritual, blood ritual, all getting initiated into being butt broken. Doesn't matter what color they are. They don't mind getting butt broke. I mean, even with the red dress in Louisiana, but you still got grown men wearing heels with stockings on. And these ain't just regular red bottoms, no. They literally are mocking what people will never acknowledge. That's exactly why they got all this red symbolism right here and shit, because they telling you they're literally stepping in your ignorance. That is a ritual for blood to feed the parasite that runs this dimension. Because there is a being that runs this dimension. Our simulation is a parasite. That's exactly why all you can offer to this world is your talents and your gifts and your mind. The red shoes worn by members of the Red Shoe Club are often made from human flesh of murdered and sacrificed children. For example, Jesuit Pope Papil's shoes. These red shoes are worn during satanic ritual abuse ceremonies. So when blood fail or falls on their shoes, it blends in and does not expose them. The shoes are also symbolic of adrenochrome, cannibalism, and blood dripping down the body of tortured children just before falling off their feet. That's why a lot of artists will paint pictures like this soon. People say that artist is to get their mind checked. Ah, not really, because that artist knows why she's painting what she's painting. There are some sick people don't know how evil some people are, and they're not even people. That's my thing too. If you decide to go down the route of doing evil intentions to where there's no turning back, and you're getting paid for doing evil things, people won't even know how you're able to manage doing that behind closed doors and then smiling as if you are a courteous, modernized, average civilian doing nothing but honest work. That's cap. It's going to this one right here.
I'm a policeman. I work here at this police station. The other lady sitting there, her name's Cleo. She's a police lady. She works at this police station. Okay. Mr. Holly's new Papa was, and then they met once, and then they become best friends. Oh, I see. And how do you know they're best friends? They talk to each other. They tell me they're my best. My dad tells me they're BFFs. It means best friends forever. Okay, so your dad told you him and the year 4 teacher are BFFs. Okay. And when did he tell you that? So when he was doing the sex to me, he does sex to me.
What does that mean, sex? What do you mean?
He touches me in the private. He touches me in the private. He sticks a plastic willy
Yeah.
in my bottom, and it bleeds. Then
Okay. So
yes,
so your dad does sex to you, and
yeah,
what that means is he touches your privates
yes,
and put a plastic willy
in my bottom.
in your bottom.
Yeah, big fat one.
Okay. So how do you know it's a plastic willy?
I felt it before.
What do you mean you felt it before?
Felt the willy. He showed here. He let me feel the willy.
Okay, so tell me what that looks like, this willy.
Huh?
It looks like a real willy, but it's plastic.
Okay. And what else can you tell me about it?
Also, there's an order of the willies of the
What?
plastic. There's an order of them, high up and low down.
What does that mean?
So brown is the lowest. It's the third, but then second is the golden color of the skin, and then it's white. White is the highest.
Okay. So how many plastic willies are there?
Hey, and then can you
Millions.
see the thing is too, that to me just sounds like some virus that practices racism by still differentiating the colors to the skin of the plastic willy. I'm not going to use the word because we know what it is at our grown age, but this is really the importance of life. And if this is uncomfortable for you, you can get out this video because these things got to get talked about. There are some kids in your neighborhood, in your school, in your college, people at your job who have been through this before. And this boy is talking as if could be a girl who really knows, but this child right here, doesn't matter, it's a child. This child right here, and this is an old video, obviously, so it could be grown, but either way, this child is describing these things like it's normal in their family. So to us, it's like, what kind of shit y'all got going on? But there are some parents out here who do this and they know they have to do it to get into a higher position. Not only just that, by you trying to have this ego dominance over color, why is the white plastic Willie the biggest? Why are you like that's so fucking weird. That's you're bug breaking your own child just for dominance and power and then control. And you're putting your child into submission over a sexual act because you don't know how to act in your ways of lusting after vessels that don't have skin color. It's just crazy.
He buys them and he makes them. He makes them in his shed. He melts the plastic and then starts making it.
And how do you know that?
I've seen him making it before.
Having this party at school, were there any children there at the party?
Yes.
So, children at the party?
Yeah, children do sex to me.
All the children?
Yeah. Yeah, and do you know how much children there is in school?
If a child is saying this, because think about it too. You can say it's speculation. You can say, okay, we don't really have the source. We don't have the right information to just go out and say this is happening. I agree with you. But nobody, no child just comes out and says this. This could be AI. This could be, to me, a real situation that does happen because if you go on your news channel or station right now, there is a child that has been trafficked today in your area. What will you do about it? Live your life. That's exactly why these things happen. They're happening in front of our face. And because some people don't do anything for pedophilia or apists, molesters, that's why they cover it because they have to make sure that you know what's going on. But what will you do about it? Humanity will watch the station and be like, ah, another child trafficked again. This is crazy. What are we gonna do? Honey, what do you want for dinner? Ah, that's a great question. See, now their thought process transitions right over into not caring because why would your spirit notify you on what you have to acknowledge? When you're stuck in the ego, when you're stuck in the same pattern every day, the things that you should be healing, you should be noticing, people don't notice anymore. They don't care because it's not happening to them or their children. So why would they get involved? That only just hurts them in the long run. And they understand that.
200. 200.
Oh, my bad, too. And the thought I had, I feel as if celebrities, people who are famous, people who are politicians, people who are well known, if it's all a club, then these are the trafficked children that grew up and became something in life because they had no choice but to work hard by what they were put through. That's why I say their trauma is famous because it's narcissistic and it's expanded into the character that people idolize because they've been through something. Their story deserves to have money attached to it. Let's get this person our money because they've been through something way worse than what I could ever fathom. So why not just give this praise to this God? I love how they look. I love how they work. I love how they make me feel in my trauma or in my memories. So I'm going to dedicate my life to them. That's what this boy basically just said. If there's children performing all these different intercourses on this child and they grow up and see each other, who do they become? They're all in the same exact club. And it's normal at a young age. So when they get older, what do you think these adults are doing behind closed doors? Why do you think orgies are popular in Hollywood and so on and so forth? When it's time to get down, to get that contract, to get that big investment, to jumpstart or leap in a new career that can make you become better as a man or woman, there are some things you got to do for that. And it comes with a cost.
There are all 200 children's experience.
And also high schools are involved.
And other schools as well.
Yeah.
And how long have you been going to that school?
Since when I was 5 years old.
And how old are you now?
I'm 8 years old.
So for 3 years you've been going to the school.
No, yeah, for 3 years, yeah.
Okay. So how long is it? So you show me that shape.
Long, like that long.
So it's that long.
Yeah.
You show me how wide it is. And what does he do with it?
And he sticks it in my bottom and then after when he takes it out, it bleeds.
So how does he stick it in your bottom?
He pushes it inside my bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when he takes it out, it bleeds my bottom.
Okay. So when was the last time this happened?
No, I'll tell you when he started doing it when I was a baby.
So you
Oh
had
my
is it
God. Oh my God. If these things are happening to babies, where's God in that equation? If these things are happening to babies to where it trickles down into childhood, it now goes into their teenagehood, it goes into adulthood, why do you think some people turn out the way they are, eating humans and putting them in freezers with their head decapitated, or being a stunning person, but then you're drawing in girls or guys to bring them to your house to slaughter them and then consume their remains or traffic their organs for your profit. And as a CIA agent, why would they arrest you when you're in on the plan? They need money too. Everybody else got to eat. So why not put you as the scapegoat or the bait for the news to talk about? The news knows who's doing it, but why would they cover that? Why would they tell you about what's going on? They're doing it as babies. So what do you think these people that you see, what do you think is happening to them? And people think as if, oh, my favorite musician, my favorite athlete, my favorite this and that will never do that. You never seen them in person and you never had a conversation with them if you have seen them. And if you had a conversation with them and you were hanging around them, it would blow your mind with what they do behind closed doors when they're on that shit. Yeah, when they're on that shit. Like I don't mind getting high, I don't mind doing wine and all that. And that's a, rare occasion. But crack, cocaine, pink salt, promethazine, all that other shit, when you start telling me to do that, you're losing me at this point. I don't want to get that high. Shrooms is the highest that I'm gonna ever get. I may do DMT, but in that though, don't introduce me to anything else. Because DMT, you got to prepare for that shit. And to smoke it, you got to prepare for that shit. Because it's not just like but you're in a dimension, it seems like forever. And it's been, I think, what, 5 to 10 minutes? And you do DMT naturally. And once I understood that, I realized that this shit's been going on for infinite amounts of time. to where they just now started tracking time of it. Do you know how sick that is? If blood is being spilled, why do you think they told you a being sacrificed itself for our nature? No, 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 no. That being sacrificing itself is the reason why beings are doing what they're doing now. Because this being said, if I can shed my blood for what you will continuously do, you have been forgiven for what you will continuously do. So do what you want to do. These beings know that. That's why it's called satanic occultism, satanic sorcery, satanic cults. Just Satanism, Luciferianism is a whole different shit at that point, but they're neck and neck. So once you realize that people who are silent are consenting to it. You are a part of the system. That's exactly why my importance in life goes just beyond what people conform to. I do not care what you care about. I care about something completely different from your agenda. And if you can't describe what's going on or teach about what's going on, you don't care enough for me. You don't care about the youth. You don't care about your community. You don't care about your environment. You are too materialistic for me, and you are okay with children being trafficked. I can't conform to that. I can't rock with that.
Party held in the school.
In the school, in the church, and school.
In the church. And so if somebody asks me, why don't you go to church? And if I tell them a lot of churches are trafficking children, so why would I want to go to church to hear about a pastor preaching what God will never say? Am I the bad guy for that? No. But if this kid is admitting that churches are doing it, what makes you think your church is not doing it? My church would never do that. Do you talk to your church after church hours? Do you go randomly just to see what your pastor is doing? Or the commission? No, you do not. You don't. And the thing is, too, people don't have the balls to say, are you trafficking children? Because, of course, what would a liar do? What would they say? No. Or they'll react a certain way. Their reaction will tell you all you need to know.
And the school.
Yeah.
Party. And then what's happened at the end of the party?
My dad kills babies and he eats the meat.
Okay, well, let's just talk about the party day.
Yeah.
Okay. So the party. What was the party like?
I don't like the party.
Why not?
They touch me,
Who?
kick me, my front privates, they hurt me. So when they stick a big plaster in my bottom, and when it bleeds, if I cry, he like, do you know those spaghetti spoons? Yeah, those metal ones. If I cry, he hits me on the head with it. But if I cry more, he hits me again. But if I cry more, the nurse teacher, I'm smart, and she injects me, and a sleeping injection on my neck. Everybody does.
Okay.
Everybody does the sex, and
right. And what is the sex?
They touch me in the privates. They tell me to lick the privates.
Who said that?
My dad's, the teachers, everybody's.
Okay. So that's happened.
And we didn't want to do that, but my dad made us do it, and he forced us.
Okay.
But my mum doesn't do it.
No? Okay.
But my family doesn't do it. Only my father does it.
Okay. So this happened at the school, and then
Shit's happening in the schools. And you want us to keep going to your school systems? I don't care if it's happening to a school in a rural area in fucking Mongolia or goddamn South America or in Brazil or in fucking South Dakota. I don't care. I don't care there were 5 kids in that school. And this is what's going on, which I know it is for sure. Why even go to these schools and learn their teachings? And you're doing completely different teachings in the schools that we are going to. And if we don't go to your schools, what happens to our family and our parents? What about us?
you said there was a bit where your dad put the brown coloured willy, plastic willy.
No, my dad doesn't have a brown one.
No? What one?
He's the boss of the whole religion, the whole culture. He's the boss.
And what's this religion called?
Not called nothing.
It's not called nothing.
No, we eat babies, we kill them. And my dad's and this is what my dad tells us to do. Look, my dad killed babies, and we help him kill babies because our dad forces us to.
Okay.
But we never kill babies. Never.
Huh?
Never on our own. Never.
Okay.
Never on our own. But only when you're around him because you don't know. Like you see your dad killing other children, you don't know you're gonna get killed next. So it's like that's why fear is the mind killer. Literally, because fear will make you do some dangerous things. Fear will make you take out your own if you have the balls to say no. Because I would never. If somebody said, get rid of your family by your own hands or you die, what you gonna do? You can go ahead and kill me, bro. They got a life to live. I'm good. That's where I'm at. So, and then the purported file name of a snuff film found in the laptop of Anthony Weiner in a folder named Life Insurance. It was said to make even the most hardened New York City police veterans cry. It said to show Weiner's wife, Huma Abedin, and Hillary Clinton performing satanic ritual abuse on a young girl, surgically removing her face and wearing it as a mask to flood the victim's bloodstream with adrenaline. And wearing it as a mask to flood the victim's bloodstream with adrenaline. Blood. Drank in this state is an elite drug of choice called adrenochrome. Nothing gets my heart going like Sacrifice Night, Hillary Clinton. Then Jay-Z. I mean, I know this is a very graphic, but yeah, you have no idea how sick and evil these people are. And it's not even just celebrities, bro. This shit, man, they can be your next door neighbor, bro. But, you know, honestly, I wanted to discuss this video topic because this is what we have to make sure the young ones, even the older ones, just people know about this stuff. I don't even care. This doesn't get really any attention, but people have to be aware of human trafficking and blood rituals. Not only just that, be loving, be compassionate, be considerate what people go through because you never know and relating to not a lot of what the boy said, but just I can relate to the satanic trafficking and children, just speaking from experience. But the other shit, I never been through that. But it's just crazy because we're still in the same families, and that's what makes it so sick. And I want people to know that you don't want to be that person who ends up becoming psychotic or you become deranged mentally because you don't know how to heal that internalized hatred that's been placed upon you from that sexual satanic ritual abuse. People don't need to go through that. And if you're not aware of what you're going through, you're going to end up hurting somebody else who didn't deserve that. But that's why in this life, you can only just watch the script that people chose to find information in. They chose to find knowledge because people want to know where they can go in the afterlife. And they feel as if by having access to your DNA, by being able to have that heightened state of being creative again and consuming the blood, they're able to now hack the DNA. They're able to rewire the mental programming. So they've been doing this stuff underneath the ground as well. So they will only do what? Bring it to the surface. And the thing is, too, the same thing with the astral realms. It happens in the astrals before it happens in the surface level. So these things have been going on. It's just on a whole broader spectrum that doesn't get talked about because if you just tell humanity, hey, they're trafficking this, or if the news stations or the government or the CIA or the politicians admitted that they're doing this, celebrities, that would blow the simulation into awakening. Why would they need people to awaken? Every single day, it's a war on your spirit. And people may go against this, but that all I know is if you go against this teaching, then you basically do not care about anybody else but yourself. And if you were put into this situation, you would do the exact same thing. You will get interviewed, you will get asked questions to where you're going to describe what you went through and how it happened and what it looks like, but people won't believe you. And then you'll get mad and ask yourself, why doesn't nobody believe me? Why doesn't anybody listen to what I'm saying? I have a story to tell. And then you wonder why. Nobody just talks about these things for no reason. These things are happening for a cause and a purpose. But whose purpose does that benefit if it's not your own? Have a great divine day, divine reflection.